keep it 100 because it's time for Hub's Huddle Podcast. Listen to the man that talks sports from football to basketball 24/7, 365. He is known as the average Joe that knows more than average about sports.
What's up, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Hub.
What's up, everybody? It's Friday night. It is January 4th, 2019. And I got a little bit of basketball for you guys tonight. I got my NFL. It's time for Wildcard Weekend starting tomorrow at 4:35. We're going to get into it. I got my bracket all filled out. I'm going to break it down for you guys who I got going to the Super Bowl and how it's all going to unfold. So let's see how I fare, man. First and foremost, let's get into the NBA real quick. I just got done watching the Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. Man, shout outs to, the Boston faithful that was in the Garden tonight. They gave Dirk Nowitzki a standing ovation. Rumored is this might be his last season, in Dallas, playing for the the Mavericks rather. And they also, like, towards the end of the game, the Boston crowd was cheering for Dirk, and they wanted him to get the ball, to shoot another, to shoot like a three at the end of the game, and he shot it up, he missed it, but the whole crowd was like, oh, they really wanted him to make the shot, man. But shout outs to those fans that was in the building tonight. Also, in the NBA, the news of the day is Jimmy Butler has been he got some problems in Philly. Rumor is he's been disrespectful, to Coach Brett Brown, according to ESPN. Basically he wants, the offense to be ran more through him, as from what I'm understanding. And my thing is, if you try to do that, you're going to take away from Ben Simmons, because let alone Ben doesn't have a jump shot. So if Ben has to play off ball, that's going to be pretty much, that's going to be bad. So Jimmy Butler, man, he had problems everywhere he been so far, starting with Chicago. Then he got traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he had issues there, which landed him in Philly. So he's in a contract year, man. Let's just see how everything plays out. It's going to be kind of rough if he does, have issues in Philly. What other team is going to want to pick him up and deal with that, that headache of having Jimmy Butler in your locker room, knowing the kind of, like attitude and personality that you're really bringing in. Also, we had the Raptors came. They had played the San Antonio Spurs last night. Of course, it was Kawhi Leonard's first game back in San Antonio since the trade over the summer. Man, listen, this right here, for us people always saying the San Antonio crowd is so classy, man, they booed Kawhi, right out of the building last night. That was bad, man, especially for a guy who done so much for your organization. He gave you guys he helped give you guys a championship, basically his defense on, like LeBron James in that series, is what, got you guys the championship. I had expected, San Antonio to show a little bit more respect to Kawhi Leonard, but I guess I was wrong. But moving on, man, it's time to get into our NFL playoffs right now. Starting off with I'm gonna do my bracket first. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do my bracket, and then I'm gonna break down the games. So in my bracket, okay, we got New Orleans has a bye, as well as the LA Rams in the NFC. Over in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs is the number 1 seed, and the number 1-2 is the New England Patriots. Okay, so this is the way I see things breaking down. So I'm going to start with tomorrow's games. So start with the Saturday game at 4:35 p.m. We got the Indianapolis Colts. They'll be taking on the Houston Texans in Houston. This right here, this is Andrew Luck versus Deshaun Watson. This is let's see how Andrew Luck fares against this Houston Texans pass rush of J.J. Watt and Clowney. Let's see how the Colts secondary fare off against DeAndre Hopkins. This dude has had no drops all year. Phenomenal year from this guy. And also they got to contain the run game with Lamar Miller. The Colts they have pretty good run game over there too. So it's gonna be a good matchup. These both of these teams are divisional rivals. Right here, my thing is going to be what other wide receiver is going to step up outside of T.Y. Hilton. I mean, I know they got the tight end over there and Ebron, but what about, we need another receiver that's going to step up. And, we know what T.Y. Hilton brings to the table. We need somebody else to help, step up for Andrew Luck tomorrow. The way I see things going, man, I think, this Houston Texans defense is going to be tough for Indianapolis. And also I think, with the leg and the arm of Deshaun Watson, getting Lamar Miller involved in the run game and getting, DeAndre Hopkins involved in the passing game, I just think the Texans are going to be a little bit too much for these guys. I'm picking the Texans tomorrow 24-17. Next up tomorrow night, big showdown in Dallas. You got the Seattle Seahawks coming in. They'll be taking on the Dallas Cowboys. So in this one, this right here, Ezekiel Elliott, he rushed for over 100 yards in their first meeting in week 3. I know we're in the playoffs, different season, different time. Like, it's a whole new season right now. So whoever gets hot right now is going to go to the Super Bowl, and they're going to win it. So you look at the Seahawks, they have rushed for at least 150 yards in like at least 9 of the last 10 games. But the Dallas Cowboys defense, they only gave up, they only allowed 6 100-yard rushers all year. So, this is going to be a good matchup for, Dallas's, these linebackers going up against these running backs of, of Seattle. And also they still got to count for the legs of Russell Wilson as well. They have to contain him with that pass rush, led by DeMarcus Lawrence. This should be a good game. This is, out of all 4 games of this weekend, I'm looking forward to, this Cowboys and Seahawks game is number 1. Number 2 for me will be the Ravens and it'll be the Eagles and the Bears, and number 3 for me will be the Ravens and the Chargers, and then it's the Colts and the Texans. I just think, this Cowboys and Seahawks game is going to be pretty good tomorrow. They're playing in Texas. Dallas, they have to feed Zeke tomorrow. They have to continue to give that man the ball. Like I said, he rushed over 100 yards in week 3 against the Seahawks. And this time you're going to be playing in Dallas. So I think, they got a better chance of beating the Seahawks. Actually, I have them beating the Seahawks at 27-20 over there in Arlington, Texas. They finally get over that hump, and get the job done against the Seahawks. Next up, we got our Sunday slate, which is the Chargers at the Ravens at 105 on Sunday. This one, it's another rematch from a few weeks ago. The Ravens beat the Chargers in L.A. Phillip Rivers once again against the number 1, defense with the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, running the ball. This dude is explosive. You see this guy, running the ball. I mean, he's dynamite. He could take off at any time and just score a touchdown, 30 yards out or whatever. But it's also going to be, a lot heavy on the Ravens rushing attack, which has been number 1 over the past few weeks. I think since like week 11, I would say. You got Gus Edwards and Kenneth Dixon over there running the ball. That's going to be a tough matchup for this San Diego Chargers defense. And also when you flip it over to the defensive matchup for the Ravens against the offense of the Chargers, you got Eric Weddle, who knows, Phillip Rivers very well, and that played a part in the game that they played on December 23rd, or no, it was 22nd, when they played the Chargers in L.A. This right here, man, like I said, the Chargers were rolling hot up until they gotten, up until when they faced the Ravens. I just think it's a little bit more of the same. I think, Ravens defense prevails, in a very tight game. I got the Ravens going 24-20. It just seems like, when the Chargers get in the playoffs, they just happen to choke. I would be surprised if the Chargers, pull it off, on Sunday in Baltimore. I got the Ravens winning that one 24-20. Next up, then you got the late game on Sunday. That's the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. Man, this right here, big matchup. the Eagles' offensive line, see how they deal with Khalil Mack and company. This Bears, pass rush is crazy. The defense is good. My thing is they're going to have to keep Nick Foles clean in the pocket. Allow him, his time to get the ball downfield to like Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, and Zach Ertz. Also with Dallas Goedert. They still need to run the ball. They have to balance out the attack. If you want to go into Chicago and be pass heavy, Chicago's they're going to beat the brakes off of you. This is going to be a tough matchup. You got Mitchell Trubisky and also Coach Nagy for the Bears. This is their first playoff game coming together. I think the experience of the Philadelphia Eagles, I think their defense playing on the road, they've been playing well the past couple weeks. This team has come together and started to gel at the right time. I'm picking the Eagles tomorrow on Sunday in an upset over the Bears in a close one. Another close. I think all these games are going to be close. 17-13. So I have, for my picks, I got the Texans and the Cowboys tomorrow. So the state of Texas tomorrow, they win big on Saturday, for the Saturday wildcard games. On Sunday, I got the Ravens and the Eagles winning, so I got two birds winning on Sunday. I got Texas winning on Saturday. So back to my bracket where I had already filled out, so like I told you guys, I got, the Saints were the number 1 seed, the Rams were the number 2 seed in the NFC, and you have the Kansas City Chiefs as the number 1 seed in the AFC, and the New England Patriots as the number 2 seed in the AFC as well. So according to, what I picked, like I said, I had the Texans winning in that 4:30 game against the Colts tomorrow. So they will move on to face New England in the divisional round on January 13th, my birthday, by the way. And I had the Dallas Cowboys beating the Seattle Seahawks. They will move on to face the LA Rams in LA as the 2 seed. You have also I picked the Baltimore Ravens beating the LA Chargers. They will move on to face Kansas City in a divisional round. And I also will have the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Chicago Bears, who will move on to face the New Orleans Saints in a rematch of, earlier in the season. They are the number 1 seed. That game will be played in New Orleans. So from there, we'll take down the number 2 seeds first. So in the NFC, you got the LA Rams against the Dallas Cowboys. I see the Cowboys actually beating the Rams in that game. I think the Cowboys defense, travels on the road, does well in LA, and plus if you realize that LA crowd has not been so much pro LA fans that other teams travel, so expect the Cowboys fans to take that short trip over to LA to support their Cowboys in LA for them to get a victory over the Rams. And then I got the over in the AFC, I got New England hosting the Houston Texans. I think it's going to be more of the same, man. I think right now this Patriots offense, what it looked like these past 2 weeks, 1 week they went, run heavy. Week 17 against the Jets, Tom Brady, started letting loose with the football. I think the offense is now starting to gel. That defense in New England has been very underrated, and those guys are playing well. Stephon Gilmore is one of the top cornerbacks in the league. If you look at the stats, you look at everything like that, this dude has been balling. Jason McCourty is not but so far off of that. And also in the bright spot, you got J.C. Jackson has came on, and starting to emerge, rookie undrafted. He's starting to, emerge over there in New England. I just think, Houston Texans, they got that crazy pass rush. J.J. Watt can get to the quarterback, whenever. Same thing with Jadeveon Clowney. It's going to be important for the New England Patriots offensive line, to hold up well for Tom Brady. And also they still have to, continue to get the run game going, with James White, Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead, but also most importantly, Tom Brady has to continue to spread the ball like he has showed in Week 17. He spread the sugar all around. You've seen Dorsett get love. You've seen Hogan get love. Edelman, Gronk had a few catches. You've seen James White coming out of the backfield. That's going to be vital for New England throughout this playoffs, to keep it rolling. So, like I said, but also, for Houston, like I said, Deshaun Watson, that kid's dynamite. Same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. Very tough matchup for New England. But I see the Patriots winning at home against the Houston Texans to move on to the AFC Championship game. Now let's look at the 1 seed. So I'm going to do the 1 seed in Kansas City, Baltimore. Then I'll move over to Philadelphia and New Orleans. So the 1 seed for Kansas City, they'll be taking on the Baltimore Ravens in Arrowhead. You know what? This right here is a rematch, from a few weeks ago as well. And I was saying, if Lamar Jackson was ordered to let the ball rip, man, I think, Baltimore should have beat those guys. They let him off the hook. I think this time they go into Arrowhead and they don't let him off the hook. I think, this Baltimore defense is going to contain, Patrick Mahomes and, this high power, Kansas City Chiefs offense. But on the flip side, I think, controlling the clock for the Ravens, running the ball with Edwards, Dixon. Also, you got to count for Lamar Jackson. The Kansas City Chiefs defense has been very suspect all year long, and it's going to show in this game. I think, the Baltimore Ravens rushing attack is going to help them get the W in Arrowhead. I got the Baltimore Ravens beating the Kansas City Chiefs and moving on to the AFC Championship game to take on the New England Patriots. Over in the NFC, now number 1 seed is New Orleans Saints. They'll be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. This one's going to be a rematch, from earlier in the season. The Saints put a beat down on the Eagles. I think this time around it's going to be a lot closer than what it was. I mean, it was a complete blowout. I think it's going to be a lot closer, but I still think New Orleans is just about unbeatable. I don't see Philadelphia beating New Orleans. I think Philadelphia gets close, but no cigar. I just think the offense, Kamara, Ingram, Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, these dudes, man, these dudes balling. The Saints are going to march in. I got the Saints beating the Eagles. It's going to be another heroic effort out of Nick Foles, possibly his last game in the Philadelphia Eagles uniform. But I just see, the New Orleans Saints beating the Philadelphia Eagles to move on to the NFC Championship game to take on the Dallas Cowboys in New Orleans. Now, for these Championship Sunday games, wow, it's going to be some good games, man, because you're going to have, New England against the old foe in Baltimore with new faces, and you're going to have a rematch of earlier in the season with the New Orleans Saints and the Dallas Cowboys. So let me shift over to the AFC, and it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens coming to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. You know what? Like I said, this is going to be very important because New England's run defense, for the past few weeks, I mean, like last week and, and the week before, they've been pretty well against the run. But this is going to be the ultimate test because you got to account for, Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, and Kenneth Dixon, running the ball. I just think what helps New England here is that they're playing at home, and it's going to give them the home field advantage. You're going to have Lamar Jackson coming in there, rookie quarterback coming in, big game, probably the biggest game of his career, at that moment, taking on Tom Brady, who's been there, numerous times throughout his career. I just think, Bill Belichick with that game plan and, going up against, John Harbaugh, I think New England's going to prevail here and beat the Baltimore Ravens to move on to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in a row. This right here, I think it's New England in the Super Bowl, the NFC. wow, like I said, this time it's a rematch. The first game was in Dallas, and Dallas took it to New Orleans. I think New Orleans is going to be out for something to prove in New Orleans. Like I said, it's hard coming to New Orleans to beat the Saints, and I don't think the Cowboys are going to have it, to beat New Orleans in New Orleans. I got New Orleans knocking off the Cowboys in an NFC Championship game. That will lead us to our Super Bowl matchup for Super Bowl 53. That'll be the New England Patriots taking on the New Orleans Saints. And as far as the winner, like I said, the battle of the old heads, Breeze versus Brady. This is the sexy matchup. This is two of the greats going at it, battling it out. I just think, in my heart of hearts, like I said, I'm a New England fan, so I have to put on my homer cap. I'm sorry. But I just see the Patriots beating the Saints in the Super Bowl. I think this is the redemption, for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Basically to put all the stuff to rest, all the rumors and, all the extra stuff that, came through the building, the turmoil and all of that, rumored to be going on in New England. I just think, the stuff with Josh Gordon, unfortunate, he left the team, to go take care of himself. I think New England's been on a roller coaster. And for them to finally start coming together, start gelling at the right time over the past 2 weeks of the season has been very vital. And you have so many people that's writing them off, for them to go out here and do what they do best, as in proving people wrong. I think they get the job done and become the Super Bowl champions for the 6th time. So that's my whole playoff bracket predictions. So I got New England beating New Orleans in the Super Bowl. Let's see how everything plays out starting tomorrow at 4:35 with the Colts and the Texans. So, I'm going to be entering a contest with this bracket. I'm going to post this on my Instagram page. It's a guy, his name is the Spike King on Instagram. If you guys, check him out, his Instagram page is the Spike King. He's having a playoff giveaway contest, which you fill out a bracket, you post it on your page, and you hashtag Babs Playoff Challenge, and and you also got to tag him in it so he can see it. The prizes are, so if you have the perfect bracket leading into the Super Bowl 53, you'll get a chance to pick out, the Super Bowl 53 jersey of your choice between the two teams that's going to be playing. And also, if the team that you pick wins the Super Bowl at that point, you'll win an NFL jersey of your choosing. So this is cool. It's open to all fan bases. Spike King is a super Patriots fan. He's a cool guy. I follow him on Instagram. He puts up a lot of videos. He's always traveling around different games. So you guys check him out. You enter the contest, and get your chance to win a couple of jerseys. So that's it for me on a Friday night, man. I hope you all enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm on iTunes, Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. I'm on YouTube as well. Make sure you check me out, subscribe, continue to listen, share this with everybody, man. Let them know, your boy been rocking, man. This is episode number 46, I believe. I've been rocking for a minute, man, all year long, man. So thank you all for supporting me. I truly appreciate it. To all my new listeners, man, welcome aboard to Hub's Huddle. Hey, I just give my opinion on sports. I give my thoughts and everything on topics. So keep rocking with me, man. Until next time, I will catch up with you guys after Wildcard Weekend is over to wrap up, to see how everything looking, man, to see how my bracket's going and get everything leading up into the divisional round. Like I said, January 13th is my birthday. That's next Sunday. Patriots are playing, so I'm going to be all locked in, man. Belichick hoodie on and everything, man. Your boy going to be rocking, baby. Until next time, man, thank you all for listening. It's your boy Hub, and I'm out. Peace.